Hello, my name is Eric Choi, and it's been a long time since I presented a class or I taught a class, especially online. So I kind of wanted to make a fun project for you guys. We're not learning any new concepts or new electrical components this week, but rather we're going to be having a more relaxed, but it's still going to be a challenging project, but it's going to be more relaxed and more code dependent, which I wanted to emphasize in this project. So yeah, let's go to our goals. So our goal today is to make an LED tracer and make interesting patterns with these 12 LEDs. You can make quite a different amount of patterns, amount of variations, and it's very code dependent, so you will learn a lot more about code with this lesson. So these are the materials that we need. Of course, you would need one breadboard, one Arduino, 12 LEDs. I recommend getting 6 pairs of the same color. And I think in the Arduino starter kit, you have 5 different colors. So one color would have 2 pairs while the rest of the colors would all have 1 pair. And because you're using 12 LEDs, you would of course need 12 220 ohm resistors as well. And this is why, again, guys, I keep telling you to put all your resistors and reuse them. So like store them in a Ziploc bag and reuse them, because you're going to run out of resistors soon, and that's not going to be a good thing if that happens. So try to always reuse them, guys. So here's a schematic for today. As you can see, all the LEDs are connected in a line, in a pattern right here. They're connected to a 220 ohm resistor. So the long lead of the LED is connected to the resistor, and they're all connected to pins 2 to 13. So the first LED will have the pin 2, next LED will have pin 3, next LED will have pin 4, and so on until 13. And again, this is why I told you guys to find 6 pairs of LEDs, because you want the colors to be same for each side so that they look nice. Of course, if you don't want to do this, you don't need to, but just for aesthetic sake, you want to do that. Also, the negative side of the lead will be connected to one long metal wire in the breadboard, and the end of that will be connected to the ground port in the Arduino. So it's a fairly easy schematic, but it's just a lot of work because you need to put in 12 LEDs and 12 resistors and 12 jumper wires, 13 including the ground. But yeah. So now that we finished that, let's start coding. Again, if you didn't finish all the schematic, which of course you can't finish in 10 seconds, just pause the previous slide and try to understand, because now we're going to be explaining the code. Now remember, you want to finish your wiring before you start this. And again, I realized that my audio quality is a little bit bad in this video because I sound a little bit robotic, but just pretend that a robot is teaching this lesson instead of me, and it'll make more sense. That was a joke, by the way. So yeah, let's start off by making our instance variables. So again, our plan of this is to make the LEDs light up in a pattern. So let's just try to make them light up one by one in a stationary line. So just try to visualize that. We're gonna make the first one light up, the second one light up, third one light up, fourth one light up, and so on. And once they're all lit up, we reduce the lights one by one back again as a pattern. So first, we want to initialize our variables for the LEDs. Again, this is a comment, so you do not need to really write this. But again, it's always good to write comments because it's good practice, coding practice. So we're going to say int LED1 is equals to 2, int LED2 is equals to 3, int LED3 is equals to 4, and so on. And again, you guys could copy and paste these lines if you're not a fast typer. But yeah, so we're going to continue until we get to LED 12. Okay, so let's keep going. Equals 10. Okay, so remember guys, these are variable names, meaning that we could easily change these names to whatever we want, right? So if you really wanted to, we could change this to first LED instead. But this is really your own preference, and you want to continue to make these kind of acknowledgements and memories from now on, right? But because LED1 is just a simple variable name, I'm choosing that, and we're claiming that LED1 is in port 2. So remember guys, in your schematic, the LEDs connect from port 2 to port 13. So that's why we initialize our variables as so. So let's set them up right now in our setup function. So remember, these initialized variables are outside both of the functions. So first of all, you want to initialize your digital pins as output. We start this out by saying pin mode LED1 is output, pin mode LED2 is output. So again, this is just going on, and you continue to LED12. So I'm gonna just copy and paste for this purpose. So we will change this to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we don't need these last two lines because of that. So remember, if you want to quickly copy your code, the best way to do so is copy. So it's control and paste, and control plus P. And if you're in a Mac, it's just command plus P. So these shortcuts are good to memorize in the long run. So try to memorize those because they really help you when you code. Okay, so now let's go into our loop function. So I'm going to skip a lot of lines so that I leave some space. So in here, we want a digital write. So remember that we want to turn these LEDs on one by one by one and still keep the previous lights on, right? So we're going to make them digital write. LED1 is high. And we're going to delay for, let's say, 500. You remember 500, this is in terms of 500 milliseconds, so this is half a second. And we're going to copy this 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're simply going to change these names. So again, try to visualize what happens when you run this code, right? Each LEDs is going to turn on one by one every 500 milliseconds. Yeah. So once we turn all these lights on, so this is when we turned all these lights on, turned all the lights on. We want to now turn it all off one by one, right? So again, I'm gonna just keep this here so that you guys could pause it if I'm going a little bit too fast for you guys. So yeah, just try to understand this. So now that we're going to go on, we're going to try to turn them off, right? So we're going to go, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Digital write LED1 low. So now we're turning the LEDs off one by one. And we're delaying that by another 500 milliseconds. Again, you can make this number faster if you want it to go faster. So we're going to copy this 12 times again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're simply going to change the variable names as so. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to keep this for you guys again. So you turned it off. So again, this is a lot of lines, but it's pretty simple. It's just there's a lot of lines because there's a lot of LEDs. So now that we do that, we're good to go. So remember guys, anytime you do something, so I'm going to shorten this line. Anytime you do something, you always want to go to tools, and you want to check if your board is connected. My port is not connected right now because I simply did not connect my USB port yet, but you always want to check the port as well. And once these two are finalized, you verify and upload, and it should be fine. And I'll probably put the code in the description of the YouTube video in case you didn't get it. So once you're finished with all these stuff, I challenge you guys to make other patterns, right? This is as simple as a pattern goes. And due to time restraints, I can't really make another pattern for you guys. But think of other patterns, because there's so many patterns we can make with 12 LEDs.
So this pattern is fairly simple. As you can see, one LED is lighting up every half a second, and it should be going like this. And once it reaches there, it slowly turns off one by one, as so. So again, a very simple code and very simple circuit. So again, if you have any other patterns or any other ideas, it would be a good idea to try to make those happen. And since the code is very simple, you can make any pattern that you want. And remember guys, it's going to be Thanksgiving, I believe next week or next week. And be sure to thank your parents for during Thanksgiving break, because that's what Thanksgiving is about. And if you write them a little card, or if you say just thank you to them, thank you for all that you've done, I'm sure that you'll make their day a little bit better. So for now, that's it guys. Have a good day, and just keep coding, just keep building projects. Peace.